Method, you know, really is kind of, can you sort them by date? You know, when I look at them, I can kind of sort them by date, and then here, I'll show you what this looks like so far here. See here, give me a focus. Focus, you stupid thing. Okay, I've kind of carved in some ugly teeth here, and we've got this. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Okay, the easiest way to sort of follow my videos is to go by date, chronological order. Near. So I want this guy looking forward, and I'm not going to cut eyes, I'm just going to kind of press him in here. I'm going to give him huge eyes. This is kind of just an experimental piece anyways, okay? Most of my pieces start out as experimental type pieces. You even got the eyes kind of straight. It'll look good once it's gooped. I'll give him a couple nose slits here. I'm going around his mouth, giving him a lip. Pressing like I did before. The other way is if only eighth of an inch or so below his, or around his mouth. Just to give him kind of the impression of a lip. There. Okay, so that's the snake guy. Yeah, he'll look good. At least we'll see. Like I said, I've got a bunch of things here to goop. I just want a couple other pieces just to, in case, you know, little pieces. When you got just a little bit left over, it's nice to have a bunch of stuff like this to coat up. Where did the base go? There we go. Oh, about this foam stuff, have a vacuum cleaner handy, eh? You know, that seems to be about the best way to pick it up. If you do it kind of out in your carport or whatever, or garage, make sure you vacuum it up. Don't let it blow around the neighborhood, okay? It's kind of bad stuff. Well, bad in that every beach in the world, doesn't matter how friggin' far away they are or how remote they are, got plastic on them, okay? We gotta kind of really control our plastic. That's why I say, you know, go down to a building that they're building and grab some scrap pieces. But anyways, because I mean, like out in the middle of the Pacific here, we've got an island the size of Texas. Well, not an island, but the whirlpool's the size of Texas. The island itself is big, like what, Manhattan Island? I think it's bigger than that one. What's the other one? Rhode Island. It's about the size of Rhode Island out there. And it's plastic bags, man. Just a whole island of friggin' plastic bags. All the remote islands up here throughout the, you know, BC up into the, you know, really remote area up towards Alaska and stuff, they're covered in friggin' water bottles. So, anyways, use a vacuum cleaner, vacuum this stuff up. Okay. So there's our barrier, okay, and then once this is dried on here, we'll add a little bit of that plaster type stuff, or you could use, you know, flex paste, sprinkle some rocks and sand into it, let it, you know, kind of dry a bit, and then paint another coat of flex paste over top of it. Stuff's kind of expensive though. Search out my goop recipe there and it's way cheaper. Okay, so I've got the TV on here because I'm listening to the news and stuff, but yeah, pretty soon, hey, I think next year for you guys down in the States in 2010, somewhere around like that for us up here, we lose all our airwave TV, eh? That's the only TV I watch. I mean, I'm not going to pay for friggin' commercials, eh? You know, and they freaking rip us off up here and package everything, eh? So if you do want like one channel like the 40K Warhammer Game Train channel, which they don't have. But if you did want that, you'd have to freaking buy, you know, all the basic cable and all the other crap that goes along with it, and then you'd have to subscribe to the Gaming Train channels package, which would cost you. Anyways, it's like $100 a month, So, man, I haven't had cable TV for years. Hey, by the way, rather than ranting about TV, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm working on this thing here, and I'm gooping in ground train type stuff. I'm using some Sculptamold. It's kind of a white powdery stuff. Basically, it's a cellulose mixed with a hydrocal. You know, works really good for this kind of stuff. So I'm putting some of that around this piece here. And I wasn't going to show you this, but then some people want to know. So that's how I do it. I goop it on, and then what I do is I'll go along the edge here. Sorry, you got it. The hell's the other remote? Judge Judy, God, she's such a wench sometimes. I miss Joe Brown. That's the guy I miss. Old Judge Brown. Or Watner. Anyways, so what I'm doing here is I'm basically just kind of scraping it down and pushing some underneath. Usually when you put something on like this, I mean, you can try cutting your edge nice and 90-degree angle, but unless you're, you know, working on a bandsaw or something, or really anal type thing, it's usually off a little bit. So I'll put glue down, and then I'll stand it up so it's straight, and then I'll just force this shit underneath in the crack, underneath, on the one side. You know, if you're really worried about it possibly breaking off, is, you know, give a good squirt of PVA, glue, weld bond type stuff underneath there. Okay, so I've got this all kind of scraped down nice from the side there, so it's not impeding our design at all. This tool that I use, by the way, that's that modeling tool thing that I showed you how to make. It's pretty super handy stuff, man. It's the #1 thing that I use, and if I don't have one, I just make another one, you know, to the size that I need to. Okay, got that all down and around. Now, I don't like this kind of mark in the ground train, so anywhere where there's kind of distinguishable lines or something like that, take them out with your finger or whatever, just before the stuff dries. And then I wipe off anything that can maybe break away from the edge. So just before I set it down, I run my finger all the way around the edges, you know, and touch up as need be. But then that wipes off everything from the edge. Saves you having to do it later, you know, because you got to eventually sand it off or whatever. Or if not, when you set it down, it chips and it'll chip your paint, you know, and it'll show, right? So before it's all dry, wipe, you know, make sure it's kind of Harfas clean. Excellent. So, still got a little bit of this stuff left over. I have nothing to add it to. We'll add it back onto that thing here. We'll give it a rock or something right there. That'll be something we can drill into later. Drill into and plant tree or a bush. You'll have to drill into this stuff though, because it's not like the foam. You can't just push into it. You actually have to drill into it.